Hey guys, good evening, good night to everyone. Today it was the sixth day of rehearsals in touring of Eurovision 2022. We had the chance to listen and watch part of the time 15 countries. So we had actually three countries from semifinal one, seven countries from semifinal two, and the big five. So the famous semi-finalists went to rehearsals on their second time, while the big five countries went on their first time rehearsals on the big stage on in touring. And I would like to discuss with you, to share with you our thoughts, our feelings after being in the press center of all the journalists. So yeah, let's wait for a little bit more viewers and we can start. All the viewers that we have, of course, you can comment in the chat below, saying hi or just asking any question that you want anytime, whatever is this question is. So yeah, so the first country to went on the stage was Iceland. So from Iceland we have Sistor, the Elin, Siga, and Bera that sings Mid Icon Soul with the rising sun in Icelandic. In general, it was very similar to the national selection, to the Song of the Kapnin performance that we had. Um, so the three of them wore different outfits. One of them with kind of flowery outfit. I mean, one with prints of flowers, other one with red, and the third girl with white shirt and blue pants. This is the girl with that usually wears the hat. She's the youngest, by the way. But they're not alone on stage. They have their brother with them, A4, and he's on the drums and he has a white outfit. So really good vibes, I must say. Very high quality. Vocal, vocally, sorry, it was on point. And of course, each one of the girls has their guitar and they just move their bodies in different angles like this and then like this, but move together. So it's like synchronized. And I just hope that it's gonna work. About staging, so it starts very dark, but thereafter we see a lot of colors. It's very beautiful and let's call it clean artwork. Like you don't have, a lot of details on one time, but a lot of them. So it looks clean, to be honest, if you ask me at least. Yeah, what else can I tell? So we have a lot of orange as well, and they try to create kind of effect of sun. I want to remind you again that the kinetic sun is still not working, and we all have doubts whether it will be working or not. However, I can tell you that it still looks very, 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 very nice. Yeah, so the sun kind of rise. We have beams of lights. Um, I don't know. I really, 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 really like the performance visually. Vocally, they're on point, so nothing to add. Will they qualify? Well, this is a really hard question for me because I want to divide my answer into two parts. If you ask me, like my personal taste, I really like this. Iceland's high quality this year, and also like it's really refreshing to get Icelandic from them, the language itself. And I'm not sure that like all people, will would like to add it to their own playlist and watch it again and again. I'm a little bit concerned, um, but I don't know. Maybe jury can support it. So in general, it looks good and sounds good. Let's move on to the next one. So like, let me make a comment. Like in the original running order, we do have Iceland as number 14. Thereafter, we have Greece, and thereafter we have Norway. But for rehearsals, I guess that it depends on like staging issues, Like for example, Greece has a lot of props on stage, or the chairs, the broken chairs, etc. So the broadcaster, I mean, and the EBU and Ray together has decided to swap their places only in rehearsals, nothing to do with the live shows, and that's why Iceland performs today, while Greece was the closing act of yesterday. So now let's focus on, that's right, on Norway. This is the next country to perform. So for me, what they have done, subwoofer, Jim and Cave, was just taking the Melody Grand Prix performance and try to upgrade it a little bit. And yeah, a lot of lights. Some of them are blue and yellow. Maybe hint for Ukraine, I don't know, just because they loved those colors. Yeah, they look like those characters, half dogs, half wolves, half bananas. No one can tell. With the masks, of course, and the black suits as always. They have three female dancers with them, and also a DJ. The DJ called DJ Astronaut. And he has golden outfit, and the girls like they both have masks as well, so you can't tell who is behind the masks. But we have seen three of the female dancers in Melody Grand Prix, so probably those are the same women, just with customs. We really can't tell. But yeah, I mean it looks good. They do have some, yeah, they do have some fireworks as well, pyro, of course. What they've done as well was to create an effect that the lyrics of the song, not all of them, like "Let It Wolf a Banana" and "Yum Yum Yum," etc., are written on the screen. I'm not talking about the LED screen behind with the kinetic sound, but on the TV screen. So any one of us who will watch Eurovision at home or with friends or etc. on TV or on PC or live stream of YouTube will see those subtitles about people in the arena itself. Uh, they won't watch it unless, of course, unless they will watch the screens in the arena itself. Um, so yeah, they move together a lot of hand movements like those, and they walk in the very specific way as always. Not much surprises from Norway. Of course, it will stand out. I do see them, by the way, scoring much higher in the televote rather than the jury, but still looks good, looks sharp. They have done everything they could with this kinetic sound. I mean, yeah, it do disturb. And by the way, another thing, the DJ Astronaut stands behind. He has kind of high platform, black one, and he stands on it with kind of a DJ booth, trying to engage and encourage, the audience to join and make a huge fest of this song. Yeah, what else I can tell about Norway? So you will see, of course, smoke on stage, and lighting will be namely blue and yellow, but also orange sometimes. Um, yeah, so this is about Norway. I can't see any difficulty for them to advance to qualify. Let's face it, I mean, for me at least, semifinal one is the easiest one to qualify from, or at least like the most predicted one in a good way. And Norway is definitely sailing through the final. Let's move on. The third country to perform today is actually the country that closes semifinal one. Yeah, that's right. This is Armenia. So first of all, I think that all of us are really happy to see Armenia back in the contest, right? I mean, they were absent for 1 year, 2021. And Rosalind, charismatic, check. Good vocal, check. Beautiful, check. I was one of those who really liked the staging. It looks good, if you ask me. How does it look like? So at the first, the stage is very very dark. Later on, you can see blue lights, and Rosalind is sitting on a bed made of paper. She has some objects or four hands in the room itself. So bed, two lamps, if I remember correctly, couch as well. But she's on the bed most of the time. And there is a microphone stand that stands like on the edge of the bed. I would like to visualize it. So I don't know, what do I have here? Okay, I'll try to show it with cell phone maybe. So yeah, imagine that this is like the bed. Rosaline is sitting here, and right in the corner, she has a microphone stand that goes like this. it's warped with white paper as well. And what she does in the performance, so at the very beginning, she like sitting on the bed and of course singing, but later on she changes her positions. Worth mentioning that even though she moves a little bit, Rosalind from Armenia, she still sounds very good. So this is already a hint to can tell us that she's a very good vocalist, which I'm happy about. And she turns around in the room, looking at the walls, and sometimes she just tears the walls. I mean, kind of tears paper, and she reveals things. So what things can we see there? There is the word snap, of course. There is the phrase the last one, if I remember correctly, and also the date June 22nd. What's special about this date? So we talked to the Armenian delegation and we read some announcements of them, and they told us that this is the date related to when Rosalind wrote the lyrics of the song. So she just wanted to mention it. It looks good. What I like also in the Armenian performance was the camera angles. They show everything, but you're not get too dizzy, you know. Um, so yeah, that's why I loved it. As a song, I'm not sure this is the best one. For me, it's still, although I like it, it still sounds a little bit more like Junior Eurovision, but still, this is a very decent one. Also, there is a rotation axis. I mean, the bed moves, and in the very, let's call it peak point of the song, she stands out, get out of the bed, of course, and she kind of tears the external of the room. This is a very large circle. She tears it down with her hands, and then she steps forward to the stage. We can see behind her kind of black platform. This is actually the external walls of the room, and also she has changed a little bit things in the vocal performance. So she has, if I'm not wrong, one key higher in the second chorus, which is gorgeous. I mean, I like it because she only tries to challenge herself, so nothing can be about it, right? And yeah, so Armenia, I believe as well, has the chance to qualify. Yeah, I believe it won't be top three or top four of that semi, but I don't know, maybe from the fifth, sixth, or seventh place in that semi, if you want me to predict. And about Norway, let's sum it up again. I believe they will be top four of this semi. Personally, I'm not a big fan, but again, I'm here to talk facts and not about my opinions. I would like to share opinions, but only if the viewers want it themselves. Yeah, what else can I tell? Okay, so we had a break, and thereafter we started semifinal two. So the first act to perform was Finland. This is the Rasmus with Jezebel. Yeah, so outfits were black and yellow. Lowry, the lead singer or the frontman of the band, uh, held sorry a yellow balloon in his hand, very tiny one, like the basic balloon that we all know as children, I guess. He holds it in his right hand, if I'm not wrong. And although he has a long coat, it's open that we can see his body, his chest, etc. All other members wear yellow and black outfits, and they look like bees, but in good way, not like it's a costume. Some of them has yellow shoes, if I remember correctly, or kind of boots. So as the song progresses, Lowry steps forward to the stage, and then we can see the prop of the finish entry. So those are a lot of big or even giant balloons. They are between gray to black, or let's call it black, but with a lot of lighting. They look like they're gray. Um, yeah, they try to create a memorable visual, of course. The combination, the mixture between yellow and black together is really, really good. LED screen suggests some strong graphics, as international selection, I believe. In the course, we can see smoke jets and fireworks together. Today, by the way, they haven't chosen the fireworks, but it's because of budget. I mean, they will save it for the Jewish show, family show, etc. And of course, like the rehearsals of next week. So they do have it in their plans, but today it wasn't fulfilled. Again, budget issues. Um, of course, that Larry is shirtless at certain point. Um, maybe try to attract. But I do want to put something on table, if may I. I think that Finland has done a good job today, and it depending or I'm hinting about the vocal performance. I don't know what happened, but yeah. First of all, let's face it, in the Finnish selection UMK 2022, Lowry wasn't that accurate, but today was actually, in some cases, out of tone, which is really strange because he's quite experienced singer. Like the Rasmus exists from the beginning of the 2000s and even before. But I don't know. Maybe it's time that has passed by and have some consequences. Um, so yeah, I do want to believe they will improve because this is the Rasmus and their icon. A lot of people love them from their like the past, the very impressive past and repertoire that the band suggests. But still, as a vocal performance today, it was one of the weakest, I believe, among all acts. Um, and it was in all of the three takes. So you couldn't tell like this is something this is ad hoc, like one time thing. I really want to hope and believe that it won't happen in the future. But if it happens in the future, I must tell you that we have a danger that Finland can find themselves out of the final. For me, it will be a surprise because I always predict them to advance. But if the vocal performance of Finland keeps on the same level as today, Finland not going to get good place, unfortunately. And believe me, I want them to qualify, but I have to be honest with you. Okay, next up is Michael Ben David or Michael Ben David from Israel performing the Bob I Am. Um, so let's start from the end. It was quite impressive. I wouldn't say like it's the most impressive, performance of the day or something like this is the best Israeli performance. Not at all. I mean, I'm sorry, but there are some advantages that we have to put on table. First of all, Michael Ben David is really excellent performer. Vocally, it was on point. He was very confident. I'm not sure that inside him was that confident, but what he like shows us in the press and in the, of course, in the rehearsals as well, was that he's really sure about himself, and this is something that I really liked because I think that like in this, upbeat song, it's really really important to show that you have confidence that you can deliver, let's call it the message of the song, as well as the you know, all the other things. Um, yeah, so he wore a white outfit, two pieces like shirt and pants. Uh, he had four male dancers this time, not five, and all of them had white outfits as well, but not that similar to the ones of Michael. A lot of dance contribute, of course, to that atmosphere. What else can I tell? So about lighting, yeah. Lighting is most of the time red, blue, white, and gray, but red is the most memorable color of the staging. The floor, actually, the LED screen on the floor is one of the central um, motifs of the performance. We consider some shapes. Sometimes it looks even with the camera angles, kind of three-dimensional shapes, which is really good. So in some part, you like, you know, do kind of a squat, I want to believe. We can see like the floor is spinning, even though it's not. Um, and we can see the words I am on the floor, etc. Also, what I forgot to mention, this is the beginning of the performance. The beginning of the performance, we can see him in the kind of the back, the like in the very back part of the of the stage, and he's surrounded by mirrors. At least five were there, or something like five, six, or seven. I can't really tell. And it's of course because it's a mirror or LED screen that functions as a mirror, depends who you ask. We can see him multiple times, and then he like moves between all of those mirrors, and we can see him on the central stage. So the surprise that Israel has made is something between LED screen to mirrors. Also, a very strong visual that we have, and it's something sad to say, but I must have to say that, is that Israeli delegation, with of course the help of the art director, the Austrian Marvin Dittmann, just hided the sun because they brought really high and wide LED screens, and we can see some, how to call it, it's kind of flashlights or square lights that goes up, down, left and right, that they turn in the places and to show a lot of colors, but each time one or two colors, so it's not very colorful in a good way. Um, yeah, and he hands the end of the performance like Michael is on his knees and say, "Give it to me now," and he stares at the ceiling. So this is how Israel chose to end their performance. About qualifying, I'm still not sure. For me, it's I don't know. It's really an open question. I tend to believe that they won't qualify, but there is a chance they will because it has some magic on the stage, and Michael is a really good performer. So I do want to believe they will qualify, but there is a chance they will be out just because it's a tough semi. So yeah, but what I can say that, I mean, the performance was bigger than the song in a good way. Like that Michael gave his all in this performance, and maybe it can help. I do can tell you that the press was quite impressed by him. I talked to some people from different countries as well. I'm from Israel, by the way, for the ones who don't know. So I didn't want to be biased towards it. Therefore, I asked other people, but I did receive some positive comments about him. So maybe he has a chance. I don't know. And now I want to wish all you BTS Drava because the next one we will talk about is Serbia with Incorpesano of Constructa. So yeah, what we can say, Constructa is iconic. She knows how, to hold the performance, to make you be interested, even though we're quite familiar, with the concept. After all, we have watched her videos, I guess, million of times, and some of us, at least me, watched the Serbian selection as well. So it's not really surprising what we have gotten from Serbia, but still, I believe it was interesting. I wouldn't lie, the kinetic sun can harm some of these visuals here, but because Constructa and her gang, like it's between dancers to backing singers. I would call them backing singers. You can like you are distracted in a good way by them. So like the disadvantage that we have on stage, which is the kinetic sound that doesn't turns around or shows lead. It's not the main thing. Uh, so she has a suit like short t-shirt and pants. She looks like a nurse. She has a golden cross on her pocket, and inside the pocket she has flowers. So they are white, red, and pink, if I remember correctly. Backing singers were white and black. Sorry. And on the left screen we can see a very huge three-dimensional handset claps, like to do BT's Drava, so we can see the claps there. But also it shows us other visuals as well. Of course, she's gonna wash her hands stage. She has done it. Um, she has like a very ancient kind of chair which she's sitting on. What else can I tell you about this? Lighting is gold, blue, and red. It keeps on changing as the song progresses. Um, and there is also a lighting of the cross, the cross as nurses and as medicals has. Um, it's in cyan color, and this is on the floor itself, the LED screen of the floor. Of course, we have water effect as well. Um, yeah, like the outer side of the sun is lightened in gold. But basically, what I mostly remember from this performance was, so first of all, it was iconic and a lot of light blue and red, but not all the time together. They end the performance in what looks like kind of ritual, like a religious one, I would say. They do this movement with hands, all of them. I mean, construct and pose the backing singers. It looks like this at the very end. So it looks like they're gonna pray or ask something for God, or I don't know, but it's very memorable. And this is my next point, that what I'm concerned about Israel is that Serbia comes after. And Serbia is really like eye dropping in a good way. It sticks to your mind even if you don't like the song. By the way, all our dear viewers, I will be happy to see you commenting in the chat below as well. You can ask me everything if you have any remarks. I would like to hear from you as well. Nikita, hello. How are you? Nice to meet you. I'm glad that you're here. So this is what I had to say about Constructa. Before I advance to other countries, if ones of you want to ask me any question about the previous countries we have, which we have covered, I wanted to remind you again, those were Iceland, Norway, Armenia, Finland, and Israel. Otherwise, of course, I will advance to the next countries. Um, so let's talk only about the running order before any questions will pop up, I hope. So thereafter, we had, of course, Azerbaijan, and we had, yeah, we had Georgia, of course, Malta, San Marino, and the Big Five. Okay, so maybe it's a good time to talk about Azerbaijan. So I will be honest, it's one of the surprises of the day. I know that many people weren't that sure about him because we haven't really heard him performing live, only in the Spanish party. But I mean, let's talk about Nadir Rustamli. He was internally selected, and it was the very last act to be revealed. So a lot of people like waited too long, maybe. But guess what? He's really good. He's really good vocalist. I'm not that surprised because we have knew that from the voice of Azerbaijan. Um, he has a male dancer with him. The male dancer, by the way, as well as the art director of Azerbaijan, came from Denmark. Why? I don't know, but you know that Azerbaijan delegation really likes to use all these kind of, how to call it, outsourcing, like use, other countries to help them. And I don't know, I respect them because if they believe that it can be good for them, why not? Okay, Nikita says here that he believes that Azerbaijan will be the dark horse of this year. I tend to agree with you. I really tend to agree with you. And many people sleeping on this one because they say, "Oh, we have another man ballad, etc." But I don't know. He has something special about him. He has charisma. I mean, let's be honest. He also looks very good. Of course, it's not visual contest, but still, it's something that can help out, right? And the vocals are really strong. I must say that even in some parts, I was more impressed with the live performance rather than the studio cut, which is something that sometimes is impossible. And a lot of good singers this year sounds very good on the studio, but not that much on live performance. But with Nadir, it's the opposite, in a good way, of course. Yes, we have a male dancer with him. What is the main element? So they have kind of stadium stairs. It's a really high platform that looks like a lot of stairs. At the very beginning, Nadir is sitting like this on one of the steps. There is a focus on his face, on his eyes, on his hair, on his head in general. Um, and he starts to singing, trying to be emotional. And let me tell you, he is emotional in a good way. About outfit, the outfit is not that beautiful, but never mind. Maybe they will change it. It's kind of between gray to hockey, long T-shirt and white pants. So something very simple, but maybe this is one of the aims of them, like to deliver it simply, simplify. So yeah, um, and like after the first verse, more or less, instead of yeah, instead of sitting, he is turning out to lie, like in this way. We still can see him, and we finally see that there is a dancer with him. So I will try to show with my phone again because sometimes it's hard to explain. But imagine that this is the stadium stairs. So Nadir is lying here, like in the upper side, and his dancer lies sometimes below. Um, yeah, it looks very, very strong. They have a lot of camera angles, neon lights as well, but very soft ones, not something that it's too much. Um, about colors, so yeah, most of the time like dark, but we have some. Also, they use light screen. We have like visual of character, which looks like Nadir himself on neon blue lights at the backdrop, like the LED screen behind the sun. But we still can see it, even though the sun tried to bother us, it didn't. And Nikita will answer your question in a minute. I'm sorry. And the strongest moment in the performance was that those stadium stairs are going to be splitted. So they're opened like this, and then we see Nadir on one side and the dancer on the other side. They stare at each other, and Nadir dances a little bit, but not something difficult, like hand movements like this, while the dancer really trying to be virtuous, moving his body forward while his back is stretched, so something like this. I don't know. I'm not a dancer, so it will be hard for me to explain. But yeah, it looks gorgeous. Sounds good. I believe jury will push it forward. Not sure about televoting, but there is a chance that we're gonna see Azerbaijan qualifying from the semifinal. Now, our dear viewer Nikita asks me about Austria. I talked about Austria yesterday, but I want to talk about them again, if may I. So, about Austria, staging looks good, not amazing as many people have thought. They are kind of surrendered in an elliptical ring of neon lights. Most of the time, it looks in the colors of white, silver, and red, and the backdrop behind the LED screen is halfway red and halfway blue. But they have changed a lot of things in the track itself, Nikita, what they have done. So basically, the majority of the song we have a backing vocalist, and sometimes the backing vocals are too loud. And maybe the aim is just to that we will hear. I don't know. It's really sad to say this, right? But that we will hear few or less from Pia Maria. But it's funny because she has to shout, and when she shouts, it doesn't sound that good. I must say that, like in the studio, it's a song that I really like to listen to because it's upbeat, it lifts you up, it makes you want to dance. But the change they have done just makes it even worse, to be honest. And Lumix doesn't do anything else, just waving his hands and trying to convincing the audience to react, to stand and dance, which will happen in the arena, no doubt. Um, but yeah, Pia Maria voices blended with those backing vocals, and it doesn't sound good. Also, they took the challenging part of the song, the second half, one octave down, so it would be less higher for her to sing it. Instead of "Let me be your hello," it's "Let me be your hello," like a little bit lower, but still she's a little bit struggles. I don't know. I know she has kind of medical issues like throat infection, etc. So for her, it's still hard to recover. That's what ORF at least told us. But I don't know. I want to believe this is the reason. But Babe, we have only 1 week, even less to semifinal one, and I'm not sure what will be her performance until then. I mean, for me, maybe I was too sensitive with the headphones or something, but I could tell that this is not like only her singing, but also combined with the back vocals. And that backing vocals in her doesn't sound the same, so not a good future for them. I do believe they're gonna stay out. I mean, there is a chance they will qualify, but if so, they won't be successful. Okay, so we have talked about Austria because our viewers asked us. Of course, we're gonna do everything for them. But before that, we have talked about Azerbaijan. And after Azerbaijan, we have kind of funny act after this serious ballad. This is Georgia with Circus Mircus and Lock Me In. So actually, when we speak about Georgia, I want to compare them to other acts in semifinal one. and this is Moldova. Why do I want to compare both of them? So basically, there are two bands that try to be kind of funny and entertaining, but I do want to believe that Georgia looks much better. I mean, they have a lot of colors on stage, but they use it in a very wise way. Well, in Moldova, I had all the colors together, and sometimes it looks really messy. And also, they were like too dynamic on the stage, like they move from here to here to here to here to here, and it doesn't look that good. But in Georgia, they're more or less standing in their places. Each one of the band members doing his thing. One of them is playing guitar, the other one on keyboards, the other one is on drums, the other one support with vocals and guitar as well. Do you remember the main actor from the video clip of this year? Like, he's a really funny guy. He's bald, like he has no hair, and he has a very long for shirt. So yeah, we can see him on the LED screen, like behind. About Georgia, we have a lot of light blue or cyan, like turquoise color on the LED screen, but also a lot of red. They do want to present as geometric shapes on the LED, and they do it. A lot of neon lights, very colorful, very cheering. Vocally, they are good. There is no like shade to through here. They're really good. Looks like a circus, yeah. But we also have a lot of pink and yellow as well. And also, they have a surprise for us, Georgia. So there is one of the members that one of his eyes is covered with the fabric, and his hair is blonde and he has a beard. I hope that you understand who I'm talking about. And he holding a magnetic box. It looks like this on top of his body. And there is a moment when it opens. And when it opens, there is a surprise. We can see kind of a tiny view of the stage, like a very tiny one. And also there is kind of really tiny dolls of the band that presents the band members. So it really looks nice. Instead of them, I would focus on this a little bit more, like with camera, because they show it for only 10 seconds. I don't know why, but it's really nice one. This is an act that I'm not sure how many people would like it, because it's kind of trolling, but at the same time they deliver it musically. I mean, this sounds good. It's actually alternative indie music. So yeah, it's really good one. Not sure about their chances, but I wouldn't call it like a certain qualifier or neither a certain non-qualifier. Um, I don't know. I would say it like this: it will depends on the mood of Europe next week, whether they would like to advance or not. But it's very challenging semifinals, so I don't know what to say about this. It can advance as well, but there is a chance that it won't advance. Okay, and we'll end with talking about the two last semifinalists of today. So there was our Malta and San Marino. So about Malta, we have the adorable Emma Muscat with "I Am What I Am." Um, you won't believe it, but I must say this is my disappointment of the day. I don't know. For me, it was quite boring. Even though Emma is a good singer, but I want to mention that today she wasn't that good, as usual. All the prep parties really slayed it. So for me, it's a kind of, I don't know, an open question why it's not that good, but maybe sound issues because we had a lot of sound issues in Turin. Serbia, I mean, Constructa had some of them as well. And yesterday, Croatia, Mia Dimšić has also some sound issues, which he gave remarks about. Um, yeah, so we have a lot of gold and yellow and orange on stage. Very high school musical atmosphere. At the beginning, she has a giant piano which she's playing on, black one, of course. She sits on chair and playing the piano. About outfits, yeah, so she has quite short dress, disco ball one. For a lot of people, it looks like The dress that Barafeli, the host of Eurovision 2019, wore in the grand final, I believe. So something really similar. It's sparkling, of course, yeah. And in the second half, second part of the song, she moves forward to the stage, get out of the piano area. The piano, by the way, is located on a platform. And then as she goes forward, we can see four dancers with her, two female dancers and two males. I mean, two men and two women. Um, yeah, staging has a lot of lights, white, gold, etc. About yeah, she has a lot of beaming light, like lights that goes like this and moves in circles. Dancers were I think it was white, and I mean, yeah, the males were white while the female wore kind of dresses, but not short ones. Um, I don't know, it just was boring, to be honest. I really wanted to give it a chance because Emma Muscat is a great singer, but nothing really interesting happened. And this is my fear that she will score even lower than we have all expected. I mean, first of all, I don't see her as a qualifier. I still think, if may I express my opinion, that Out of Sight was much better. But I don't know, maybe she has a chance. But again, I see it more succeeding with jury rather than public. And what said that we have a lot of songs that will more have success with jury rather than success with the public. So I'm not really sure she's gonna advance from here. And the last one that we're gonna speak today is San Marino. Is the Italian singer Achille Lauro with Stripper. Um, yeah, so very sadomaso style, I would call it. Not Hesotari, but still something that is a little bit different. So stage is dark, very dark at the beginning. It's lighted in red light. We can see artwork of white fingers and white hands on top of the red screen that do those movements, like moving like waves, but those are hands. Uh, Akira is actually inside kind of a box, but giant box with all the stages kind of in a box, and then it just kind of opens a door or something, or it just opens itself. It gets out, of course. It wear luxury black theater, cowboy hat, booth, and a lot of theaters, black ones. Mesh body stocking, I can also mention you. On the stage itself, we can see on the left side behind and on the right side behind, we can see two cages. In each one of the cages, we have players. Um, they are metal, by the way, metal but black. Performance has a lot of smoke and pyro, although today they haven't really used them, but I can tell you they will have. And like at the peak point of the bridge, you can see one of the guitarists just lying on the floor, very close to the waterfall, and having the time of his life while having the bass or the electric guitar solo. This guitarist is shirtless and he looks good, so maybe it can take some attentions. Um, Towards the end, Achilles riding or sitting on a Red Bull doll, like like the male version of Kawa. I mean, he goes forward and backward then while singing. We do have a lot of blue on stage as well, and they try to utilize the size of the stage. Like they go from everywhere to everywhere, very dynamic in a good way. It can be a surprising qualifier, by the way. I mean, yeah, the song isn't that strong if you ask me, but the advantage is that first of all, there is a really good staging, like better than at least I expected. And secondly, I want to talk about the fact that Akil Lauro is a personality. Is really interesting as an artist, so maybe it will appeal for people. Unfortunately, Italy won't vote in that semi, so therefore they won't get the friendly vote of Italian fans that adore Achille Lauro because he's an Italian singer. Many people knows him. But I don't know, maybe other countries will support him. So I would put him as a borderline qualifier or borderline non-qualifier. If it qualifies, I can see it from the 8, 9, or 10 positions. If it doesn't qualify, it will be maybe close. I don't see him like ending in the bottom three of the semi. I don't think so. But I have to raise a point. Even though San Marino is different, it still has a competition. The competition is Finland. Of course, there are two really different genres of rock, but I do believe that some voters, some people will be split between them. And I don't know, maybe San Marino can get advantage because, sorry, I have to drink. Because Dari from Finland wasn't that professional vocally, although it's really shocking to say because I mean I even can't believe that I'm saying this because I really support the Rasmus. They're really a band with a big name, but to date wasn't that good. I'm sorry. Also in the national selections, I have some doubts. Akil is not the best singer that we will ever meet, but still his vocal performance sounds a little bit better rather than Finland. So I don't know. Maybe the one can take the place of the other. It's really a bit strange to say, right? But it can happen. Um, Also, I'm a little bit worried to be just to end up all these things. I'm a little bit worried about Malta because running order, I believe, isn't that good for them. They are between two, very, let's call it colorful acts or not running, but ones that really stands out. And those are Georgia and San Marino, songs number 5 and 7. So I don't know. Maybe they can be blown in a bad way, like people will forget about them. Malta, like traditionally, doesn't do that good with the televote. It's more about the jury when it comes to them. So, and even though it's a jury song, I still believe that there are other jury songs, other songs, sorry, that will get much more support from jury. I don't know. I can mention Sweden. I can mention Australia. I can mention Azerbaijan, maybe Poland as well. Even though they don't tend to success with the jury, but maybe this year it will happen. Um, yeah. So it's a question. It's a question. But you know what? Like I will give like a very risky prediction. May I? I see scenario. I see situation where Malta ending in the bottom three of that night, like in the combined results, to jury together with televote and the mixture, because I believe they can't be forgotten in a bad way, and maybe it won't be enough to qualify, of course, but also not be enough to be close to qualifying. Again, I want to mention that out of sight would have done much better. And now I want to leave it to you guys. Please ask me any question that you want in the chat. I would like to ask about anything. It can be on today rehearsals on other day. I just want to mention that about Big Five. I won't react today because I have seen very like only like all of you. The press was closed for them, so we haven't seen any performance or staging. The only thing I've seen was like the images and the TikTok snippets rehearsals that we have, and I don't know. I don't feel that I'm different of any Eurovision fan because I hadn't like got any exclusive content like in the rehearsals. So therefore, for me, it feels a little bit silly to talk about this. But on Saturday, we can do it as well on another live stream that we'll have after the second wave of rehearsals for the Big Five, and then we can talk about them. And so, our dear viewers, please ask any question that you want, if you want, of course. Yeah, so the surprising act of this night was not night, actually, yeah, the rehearsals day. I believe it was Azerbaijan because the whole package looks really convincing and was like very convincing vocally. I really enjoyed this performance. So yeah, it's not a surprise that they will slay. What else? Israel, yeah, it's good than I expected, but I wouldn't call it brilliant. I do believe they could have done the staging much better, maybe with more props. Finland, I don't want to be rude, but I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because the Russos are a really big name, and the performance wasn't as big as I wished for, vocally, basically. Staging looks really good, by the way. Maybe they have to fix a little bit the camera angles, but you know, it's something that they can do on the next rehearsal. So I'm even not worried about. And Malta is in a serious problem, guys. I can see them ending really low, as I said. It might be boring and forgotten. San Marino, with the good staging they have, they might stand out and maybe be a surprising qualifier. Georgia as well, but I believe San Marino has better like package to suggest to the viewer. And the pop semifinal one. So for me, Iceland was quite underrated. We also had a poll, by the way. So I was one of the people that voted in the poll. Our choices was to pick our top three favorites of the night, of the rehearsals day, sorry. I can tell you that I voted for Azerbaijan, Serbia, and Iceland. Those for me were the top three this day. Um, Azerbaijan won the poll, by the way, which is surprisingly good because many people didn't believe in this song. Um, San Marino ended in the second place, but I don't know. I just must confess that we had a lot of Italian members in the press because the Eurovision is in Italy, and maybe they just voted for Achille as well because he's Italian and they love him and they know him and support him. So I wouldn't take it that seriously. And then in the third place we have Serbia. Iceland didn't do that well. They ended kind of seventh place or something like this. But maybe they were forgotten because they were at the beginning of this rehearsals day. But for me, they gave quality. I don't know. I'm really hyped about Iceland this year in a good way. They're interesting. They create a moment, but still, I'm not sure it will be enough in order to qualify. So, any questions from the crowd? It's okay to say no, just I have to see it. Okay, cool. So we're gonna end this stream right now. You can see the previous day stream in our channel, and also we have uploaded all the 40 reactions of each beat of our team, not only me but all the members. When we discuss all the songs, we try to predict which one of them will qualify, which one won't qualify, give our honest opinions because we're here about to talk honesty and not only facts. Um, so see you tomorrow. And please come to visit us on our website. It's called ESC Beat, Beat like BEAT, as you can see in our name. And there we have the daily reportage of each daily rehearsals, as well as some news. So thank you guys for watching. I'm really happy to see you, and I hope that we'll see you soon or tomorrow as well. Thank you. Good night. Take care. Bye bye.